This is supposed to be an Australian accent.
I was going to say British? Okay.
No, I think people lie to themselves when they say that there is no competition here. There's room for everyone. I don't believe that. There's not room for everyone.
In your Instagram handle and on your website and all that stuff, you have Midwestern hippie. So what does that mean?
One of my exes was like, you're kind of like a Midwestern hippie. And I was like, oh my God, I kind of love that. I think a lot of people are threatened in this town just because there are a lot of people. It's a saturated market in Nashville.
What was your go-to karaoke song? You're like,
I actually had a corporate job for about a year and 9 months. I had a stable income, had health insurance, all that. Left that because it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I constantly had conversations with my mom saying like, I'm just not feeling fulfilled. Like I didn't move here to have this corporate job. I could have a corporate job back home. And so I quit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Studio One. I am here in the studio with Kaylin Kole.
Hello,
Kaylin,
everyone.
how you doing?
I'm good.
A little bit of clapping here. How you doing? There's only a couple of us here.
I'm doing really good.
Good.
How about you?
Good. How's your day?
Good. I woke up at 11. It was great. And I just went to the store and that's it. And now I'm here. I have a show tonight, but
what are you playing?
Margaritaville on Broadway.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of like, I don't know. All my stuff is really in the evening most of the time. So not in the morning. So I get to chill and sleep.
That's good.
Which is great.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. All right, let's get right into it. So a little intro.
Yeah.
You grew up in Wisconsin, correct?
I did.
How was that like?
It was great. I mean, I went to a rural school where there were cows and sometimes they'd get out and we couldn't have recess. So it was kind of that vibe.
Everyone can relate with that.
Yeah,
dang
totally.
Cows.
Yeah, the dang cows. But it was very chill. Yeah. I am from a big family. We're very, our love language is physical touch. So we're very like, we hug on each other all the time. And they actually were just down for Thanksgiving, which was cool. Awesome. But it was just very simple, simplistic life. It's a lot different than the city life here in Nashville.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
But yeah.
What was your first experience with music? Was it with the family? Like, do you have a big family? Was it like, we're all doing it and then you just kind of joined in? Oh,
no. My dad is tone deaf and my mom does not sing and all of my other siblings are athletic. I am not. So that's why I chose music. Or music chose me, I guess. My dad was a DJ when I was younger, though.
Okay.
So
like a wedding DJ or like he's like mixing songs?
So he was on, I believe, a college station. When he was younger and he had a segment on there and then he also did it on the weekends for like weddings and fun parties or whatever, just to kind of make a little extra money in his college life. But back then you wouldn't have Spotify, you had actual CDs. Yeah. So he would pop like a new one into the car that we had. And I would listen to like The Temptations, Sean Paul, Michael Jackson, BC Boys, all that stuff when I was younger. Like the best 2000s music that you could ever think of, or 1990s. So
I love it.
That was kind of the start of music for me. So I just loved all the sounds and I loved like... it was like DJ Rob Bass or whatever, Rob Mays.
Yeah.
That was like one of my favorite stuff.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know you do music.
Yes.
Is there anything like hobby-wise where you're like, if you're not doing music for the day, what would you like to do? Or what do you find yourself doing?
Yeah. Well, practicing guitar, but that's music. So then I would say like, I mean, I love going on a nice bike ride in Shelby Park. That's fun. Yeah. I don't do that nearly as often as I'd like, but I also just like being outside. So I love chilling at the pool when it's not negative 40 degrees out.
It's cold here in Nashville right now.
Yeah, it's terrible. I hate the cold. That's one thing I moved here for, was for it to be warmer. But it was a facade.
Cold.
It's deathly freezing out right now. I hate it. I'm going back tomorrow, so I'm gonna pack 5,000 layers. Oh, yeah. Maybe
at least
a couple hot hands.
You're prepped already. It might even be warmer, to be honest, than here.
I don't know. Maybe. Know. Well, the humidity, it's a thing though. The humidity makes it colder. It's like a bone chilling cold. But if it's dry, then it's a better cold. So, fun fact for you.
Fun fact, everybody.
There you go. Fun fact.
All right, we're going to get into a game before we get into the meat of the whole episode, but a game. Right. And I just found out before this started that you do accents.
Maybe.
So we're going to add that. Do you have 5 accents you can give us?
I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I expect a new accent every single time.
All right. Hit them. Hit me.
Here we go. Never have I ever. Okay. All right. Forgotten my lyrics on stage.
Yes, I definitely have forgotten my lyrics on stage. This is supposed to be an Australian accent.
I was going to say British? Okay.
No.
Oh, you're doing great.
But yes, I've definitely done that. Sober and not sober.
Well, actually, we're going to skip down then because we're going to go then.
Okay.
Never have I ever been so drunk on stage that I sounded good. Wait, never have I ever been so drunk that I sounded so good on stage.
Okay, I've actually never been super drunk on stage where I've like sounded good. It's the opposite. And I've learned and I'm a better person because of it. So, yeah.
Good.
That's supposed to be like a Southern accent.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's turned a little Australian at the end, but it's fine.
All right, the next one. Never have I ever fallen on stage.
I don't know if I should do this one. I don't want to get canceled. I have not fallen on stage. I have not fallen on stage, thank God. I have seen videos of people who have though. And it is very, very bad.
I love it.
Destiny's dying over there. I love it.
All right. Oh, never have I ever been booed on stage.
Other than my brother? No.
Your brother booed you on stage?
Yeah, he's a butthole.
He was just getting it prepped for the real one.
He either does that or he like makes dumb faces. And I'm like, bro, this is supposed to be a gut-wrenching, like, awesome song. And you're just making me laugh. And it's ruining the experience. So,
Always count on family.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Last one.
All right.
Never have I ever had an ex show up to one of my shows. And like you see him, you're like...
I have had an ex-boyfriend show up to a show before and it was not fun. And I got, the Eminem, like, meat sweats or palm sweats. Palm's knees are heavy. I don't know the lyrics.
I thought like Eminem candy. Nope. I was like, what? Nope,
I meant the man. But my knees, that's what it was.
Yeah,
knees weak, palms sweaty, mom spaghetti, except the spaghetti. Mm-hmm. Everything else was true. And I saw him. Well, I've also what is an ex? Like a lot of people are like, oh, you're not dating, so they're not an ex. It's like, okay, well, it's just like an ex person that you used to be, somewhat involved with romantically or emotionally, whatever. But yeah, he was kind of like an ex-ish and he showed up and I was like, oh God, I hate myself right now and I hate my life. But you know what? I've learned that you just gotta do your own thing and you can't allow other people to make you feel like so deeply however you feel because when you get to that next level as an artist, that's going to happen so often and like people are going to say so many things about you and you just really truly have to know who you are yourself because otherwise it's going to put you in a spiral. So it's all God just doing it at the beginning. He's just getting me ready, hopefully. At least that's what I tell myself.
Oh, I think you're on the trajectory for that.
We'll see. Maybe not with these accents.
Well, we're going to move on to now your music. First off, congratulations on the recent release. I think it was like a month ago or 2 months ago about See You Tonight. Yes. I love it. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I feel like I've been seeing you a lot on social media. I don't know, you're starting to pop up a lot more. So I feel like there's a lot of traction.
The algorithm is in my favor.
It is. I love it. And I love it. What has the last few months been like for you as a musician in Nashville and like releasing songs and starting to get traction? I will start with, I guess, the hardship, but then end on something positive because it's always good to have that. But as an independent artist, it is so very challenging to get your music out there without spending thousands of dollars on promotion. So a lot of people don't. They typically forget word of mouth always is something that works. It's, something outdated, a lot of people say, but I think it's still effective in many ways. And obviously I don't have any struggle talking. So I constantly am like, hey, I just have a new song come out. Would appreciate it if you would follow me on Spotify because when people follow you, that creates like an algorithmic effect in theirs, in their library. So as soon as you release something, then obviously it's sent to them. So that helps in of itself. But
it's been a struggle, trying to find, who to reach out to for radio play, who to reach out for like A&R or managerial things. But I've just been like trying to be resourceful with my resources, and it's been good so far. I think like there's this guy, I think his name's Max McNown. Okay. He sings this song, I've been a little more hurt, but a lot more free. He just did a podcast, and they were like, how did it take forever for you to be discovered? And he was like, I don't know. Like it just happens. The industry's different in itself. He was like, people have experienced and discovered me, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have seen you way before. And he was like, well, I have 17 more songs that you can listen to.
Yeah.
And they're all great.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what is propelling and pushing me forward is, it's the quality of the songs. It's not necessarily the quantity that you're putting out. So as long as it's good content and you keep having that earworm effect in people playing that same piece over and over again, like it should be picking up. But nothing's promised in the music industry. So,
I love that. It's great.
But yeah.
And I saw that you have in your Instagram handle and on your website and all that stuff, you have Midwestern hippie. So what does that mean? And kind of like, why are you putting that out there?
Yeah. So you want to know the tea behind it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So one of my exes, I know we need some tea up in here. One of my exes was like, you're kind of like a Midwestern hippie. And I was like, oh my God, I kind of love that. So I took it and ran with it. And this
not the
industry
ex that came to the show, right?
No.
Okay, good.
No, not that one. Another one.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, but like in this industry, you have to brand yourself. And so I obviously am from the Midwest, from Wisconsin, and I am very like free spirited. It's not like the hippie, like the normal, I guess, idea of a hippie where it's just like, you smell and you also smoke weed. That's part of a hippie. But my hippie-ness, I guess, is just like the free-spirited type. And it's like, you just kind of go along. I'm a very like organized person, but I also don't get out of like uncomfortable when something doesn't happen when it's supposed to, when it's planned. So I'm just very go with the flow and very spiritual too. So I think that's where it derived from. And I was like, Midwestern hippie also goes with my style because I'm very like flowy everything and like beads and all that stuff. So it just kind of branded me well. And I was like, yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
So it's on everything. I have it on hats. I have it on shirts now, all the merch.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that.
I want it trademarked. I don't want anybody getting it. You
could do that.
Yeah. I think there's like a Midwestern princess or something out there, which is fine. But like the hippie is mine. It's mine for good.
Steal it.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys all make sure she steals it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take
it from me.
Yeah. Please. Okay. So I want to jump back a little bit in time. So on your website, there's something about karaoke.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got started in karaoke competitions, correct?
I did.
Kind of got singing voice, all that stuff. What was your go-to karaoke song? You're like right now even, you're like...
So my go-to karaoke song, if I want to like make an impact, is At Last by Etta James. Okay. But I was first doing karaoke when I was 11, and I would, like every summer there was the same competition in this small town, and I would enter it every year for 5 years. And every single year, there were 2 rounds typically, and every single year, at least one of the rounds, I would sing Adele. So I would belt that Adele stuff. My voice would always crack like once or twice, but that was because I was 11. But yeah, I would always sing Adele.
Yeah. And how did that affect you as you started like did it open up any doors, any opportunities to start then being like, oh, this artist thing seems like something I could do?
Yeah. It's funny because I started doing the karaoke competitions, and then that obviously forced you to perform in front of people.
Yeah.
So I had to get somewhat comfortable on stage, and now I'm like, super comfortable. It's the act of not caring, of what other people think. And so I've just really I've internalized that, and I've just been able to be comfortable on stage. But that really helped. However, the karaoke competitions turned into talent competitions. And there was a judge on one of the panels at the competition from Nashville. And so I was, I think, 15 or 16, and he came up to me, and I ended up winning the competition, and he talked to my mom. Yeah. And he was like, do you guys know where Nashville is? And my mom obviously did. I didn't. Yeah. I was like, I'm from this small town of Wisconsin. I'm like, I don't know where anything is. And he kind of told us about it, and he sold it to us. And I was like, bingo, let's go. And so my parents and I took a trip down. We visited Belmont. That was my dream, to go there for the longest time. Then I looked at its tuition, and I was like, no. So I just moved here in like early or late 2019 after I graduated high school. I graduated early, took that time to get a job that I necessarily didn't like, but I knew that it would save me money to come down here. So it gave me that cushion. Yeah. And so I've been here since 2019.
That's so cool. Mm-hmm. And like from karaoke to then moving here, have you been like on the road a lot of that time? Like, has that been like a huge thing that even though you're doing the job, whatever it is, you're on the road? Is that kind of how it's been?
So it's been, it ebbs and flows. So for the longest time, I just tried to get my foundation here. There were 2 bars in town that are actually no longer open. But I would be able to get in because I was underage. I would not drink, obviously, but I would network. Yeah. And so I would watch people's rounds and talk to them. That's how I got my rights. Wow. So that's how I started that foundation of relationships. And still to this day, like, people are like, do you remember those days back at that bar? I'm like, yes, of course I do. Because I was the only sober one there. But it started out like that. And then I, had to get a job because I obviously had to make money. But I didn't have many resources starting out. And then COVID hit. And so I just wrote online and on Zoom and all that, and still continued, bought a piano, learned piano. And it just like formed into this really cool process of, I would go up to my hometown or like my home state every single summer, and I would book shows myself because I had relationships there and a foundation. And so I would use that to my advantage, obviously, and play for the community that gave back to me all these years. So I continue to do that now. I actually had a corporate job for about a year and 9 months. And I, had everything. I had a stable income, had health insurance, all that. Left that because it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I constantly had conversations with my mom saying, like, I'm just not feeling fulfilled. I didn't move here to have this corporate job. I could have a corporate job back home. And so I quit. And I've been, head down and just hit the ground running ever since. And I've been to Indianapolis. I've been to Florida. I've been to, obviously, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all these fun places within the past 4 or 5 months since I quit. And it just isn't slowing down anytime soon, which is good.
That's awesome.
But it just took time. It takes, a lot of people think that they'll move here. I struggle with this to this day still, as why isn't it happening now? Sometimes it's because you're not ready for it. You might think you are, but you, like God, whoever you believe in, I believe in God, but God is telling you that you're not ready for it yet. And he's not prepared you, or you haven't prepared yourself yet. So when you finally feel that it's time and, opportunities do come, definitely take those. But I feel like if I would have gotten the opportunities that I do now, and like the people that I get to talk to on a daily basis now, 3-4 years ago, I would have tanked. It wouldn't have been good.
So
timing, everything happens for a reason, and it's persistence too. A lot of people think that they're doing a lot, but it's like 300,000 people are doing so much more than you every single day. So it's like you have to be persistent.
Yeah. You kind of touched on collaboration a little bit.
Yeah.
How has that affected, and how have you viewed that, being like on the road and writing and stuff like that? Like, it seems like that's an important part.
Oh my God,
of like how you started and also what you're doing. Like, can you touch on that a little bit, like what that means to you?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are, I guess, threatened in this town just because there are a lot of people. It's a saturated market in Nashville. That's okay. But the reason why so many people are succeeding and like sticking with their team is because it works. Like you look at Big Loud, like Morgan Wallen brought on Ernest and Hardy, and you know Bailey Zimmerman's kind of in that area now. And you look at other people and they have their same camps. Like if you look on albums, a lot of people are on different songs, and you just have to find your camp. You have to find your people that'll bring you in and support you, but also push you. Because I think it's a lie. I think people lie to themselves when they say that there is no competition here and there's room for everyone. I don't believe that. There's not room for everyone, because if there was room for everyone, then everyone would be on the same level already, you know? Yeah. I think there's time for people, and there's areas where everyone could maybe succeed, but that's not all in the same place. So there's definitely competition, but collaboration is key, because I think that you can get somewhere so much quicker and more impactful, I guess, with people on your side, like helping each other out. Like, hey, you don't have a photographer? Here's one that works really well for me. Or, hey, maybe we should write, and I know this signed writer and we can maybe write with them. Like that takes you a step further. Yeah. And so I feel like when you find your camp, collaborating with them as much as possible will help everybody in the game. And hopefully when you move up, you will take them with you.
Yeah. I love that.
So
that's amazing. Yeah. I know we're getting close to the end of our time, but just wanted to see if there's any new music coming out this new year, and then where can people kind of follow along and kind of streaming music, all that, keep in touch with you.
Yeah. Definitely new music coming out. I have a single coming out the first quarter of the year. I believe it's either January or February. And I'll be teasing that shortly. And then I think I'll be working on a lot of projects next year. So there will definitely be more music coming out next year. I put an album out like a couple years ago, and then an acoustic at the beginning of this year. So there was somewhat a good amount of content this year, plus See You Tonight, but there'll definitely be a lot more next year. And everyone can follow me everywhere at Kaylin Kole, that's 2 Ks, on Instagram, Twitter, or X now, Spotify, Apple Music. Ask Alexa to play my music, and she might, depending on the day. Sometimes she's crabby. But yeah, you can follow me everywhere there. It's just my first and last name.
Perfect. Kaylin, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Make sure you guys stay tuned. She's going to play a couple songs for us after this. So make sure you check her out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.
Take what you want her. She's got a silver tongue on her, whispering in your ear, just telling you what you want to hear. You're just a pawn in her game. Oh, 'cause she's on a whole nother level. You're dancing around with the devil. Then leave her alone, her. Nobody gonna own her. She ain't a hanger on her. Nah, that girl's a goner.